We're going to talk about our Chiefs. Obviously, this has made a lot of noise. Chiefs are opened up as a 3-point favorite. Line has gotten up to 3.5, so we are a 3.5-point favorite at home Saturday night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, exclusively on Peacock. And I know a lot of people are really pissed off about that. If you're not, and I think was it KSHB? They're going to be playing the game locally in Kansas City, so at least you'll have that. If you're not a local person and you're going to have to do, Peacock, there are other options out there. I'm going to give you one, streameast.com, streameast.com. You can go find the link there and just and watch the game there. They have every game there. And quite honestly, I got NBA League Pass, but my buddy will watch games on NBA on Stream East, and it's the same exact buffering time as far as the NBA League Pass. So Stream East, good option, and I'm sure there's other streams out there, but that's a really good option if you do not have Peacock. So game Peacock. This is a rematch from the Germany game, a game that was a neutral site. And if you look at the Chiefs, and that was 21-14 at the time, it's a very different Dolphins team we're about to play this weekend. Very different from the team that we saw many weeks ago in Germany and Frankfurt. Obviously, a rematch. Tyreek Hill is coming back home. He made a whole offseason about coming to play in Kansas City. He wished that the game wasn't being played in Germany so he could come to Arrowhead and do his thing. And Chris Jones said it wasn't going to happen. So I will say this: the NFL scriptwriters, they have it right. Tyreek Hill gets to come back. He gets to be eliminated in the playoffs in Kansas City. So it's very amazing that the scriptwriters got that right. They also got the Goff and Matt Stafford matchup. Stafford goes back home to Detroit. So there's a lot of good scenarios here in this one. But Teja, I don't know if you have any nuggets for this game. Obviously, it's our game, it's our baby. So what do you make of this Chiefs Dolphins minus 3.5 as of right now?
At night, it'll be -6, and it'll feel like -24. That is brutal. It even says partly cloudy and bitterly cold. It's describing how bad the cold is.
Wow.
That is, yeah.
You said it's going to feel like -24 degrees.
That's what it says. Yeah. Real feel -24, because the coldest day of the week is going to be Sunday. So Saturday night just feeds right into that. So that cold Saturday night is just going to stay like that all Sunday. That's man, that's really bad. I saw one today. Someone said it'll be 0. And I was like, oh, okay. That's not good, but I was like, -24. That's
yeah.
That's so brutal, man. I think if you told me 2 months ago we played Miami especially after our game with them, I'd be more worried about that. But they're in shambles in so many regards. I told you last night I did not like the opening line for that exact reason. I think -3 opening line against them. They want you to take us. They're not playing well. Tua has not played well, I think, most of the second half of the season. Tyreek Hill's banged up. Every time he catches a ball, he limps off field, hops off field. They're going to be missing Howard, Baker, Phillips, Chubb, Van Ginkel. I don't know Waddle's or Mostert's status, but probably not good. They're as banged up comes. They might be the most banged up team in the playoffs, actually. I would say they are.
Definitely.
Great week to have tackle injury concerns for us.
True.
Because we're playing against their, what our last week DNs look like. It's that's what their DNs are going to be like this week. So their second and third for preseason DNs.
Hey, you know what? I will say that the two guys that are going to be going against us in this game are two guys I've wanted us to sign midseason the last few years. And one was on our team at one point, Melvin Ingram and JPP. That'll be their starting edge rushers against us.
Good names to have with all your guys out.
It's pretty damn good, yeah.
Yeah, it could be a lot. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the line's a little scary. I will admit that, and I think we should win handily. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. I think 43.5 with these two supposed dynamic offenses that people remember. You'd think 43 is a low number, right?
44.
I know the last
it's 44. It's 44.
Is it 44 now. I just saw 43.5. It probably matters what you're on.
Yeah.
But I think it'll go under that. The last one was what, 21-14?
Yes.
So 35.
We never trailed in that game.
I think it'll be something similar to that. I think it'll probably be like low mid 30s total. I think we win. I think we don't. It's funny because you're like, oh, after the game against them, if you told us they beat us in the playoffs, like, well, Miami's a tough team. They got a lot of talent, and they showed up that day. But now if we lose to them, it's a bad loss, dude. That is a terrible, terrible way to end our season if we lose that game.
Yeah.
I don't think it happens. I think they're too banged up, and we're kind of the opposite. We're pretty healthy, and we've had most of our key guys take the week off, so we're fresh.
Yep.
We should be focused. Reed against a team that he didn't really need a game plan for against the Chargers, pretty much had an extra week to game plan for this. He didn't know who it would be against, but as far as scripting out plays, he's had plenty of time to do it. So we don't have any excuses here. We got the rest we needed. We're playing an inferior opponent as far as who they're putting out there. So yeah, I think we go under, and I think we cover the 3.
Yeah, I think we cover the 3. I do think this team is a team that's thrived on bulletin board material, and I know we already played Tyreek Hill, but it's a little different now. Now you get to actually eliminate a guy who's been calling your team out the last few years. Specifically calling Pat out. I know, obviously, all in good fun, but come on, we all know there's a little bit of truth to that kind of stuff that he's saying. Obviously, we don't believe that, the whole Tua over Pat kind of thing. And also, Tyreek did make it personal, calling out Pat's his own brother on that one podcast he was on. Yeah, you can say what you want about Pat's brother, whatever. It's still the guy's brother. So that's the kind of stuff that's going to be played up in this locker rooms this week to try to get any kind of motivation, anything they got. They're going to bring it all out. And it's the last team, knowing what we know last year, the last team that you want to give bulletin board material. And he's given us 2 years worth of it. So it's going to be very, very good for us to have it going into this game if we need any more motivation. So that's another thing. I think we blow them out past this 3. It is, I will say, it is weird. That line's very weird. I'm curious to see what the public money is behind that, because it opened up at 3. Then within minutes went to 3.5. Stayed pretty much pat at this point. So we'll see. But yeah, Teja had mentioned Jerome Baker, Xavier Howard, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb out, Van Ginkel out. Raheem Mostert and Waddle, that's going to be the unknown. That's going to be something you're going to have to be tracking all week to see their status for this game. McDaniel said they wanted to play yesterday, but the medical staff held them out. So we'll see what happens with that. They wanted to held them out yesterday so they can give them a better chance of playing in the playoffs. So we'll see if Mostert and Waddle can give it a go. These are 2 guys who are, have pretty much injury-riddled pasts. I mean, they're always injured. If you had Jalen Waddle in your fantasy team, you had a question mark every week on his next to his name. So, yeah, we'll see with those guys playing. I don't really think it's going to matter, to be quite honest with you. Tua, on top of that, Tua's first playoff game, guys. This is Tua's first playoff game, and I saw a sheet here the other day that, Tua's got, a losing record when playing in games that are, below, 30 degrees or something like that. And I think it's only been, 10 games for Tua. Something kind of ridiculous. But, the cold weather, and I'll say this, too, with the way we've been playing, this kind of smash mouth, hand the ball to Pacheco and let him thump your guys. If you guys watched the end of that game last night, Miami didn't even want to tackle Josh Allen. It was 80-degree balmy Miami. They didn't want to tackle him at the end of that game. What's going to be when it's negative 24-degree feel and Pacheco's running at you? You're not going to want to tackle that. So I think we're going to give it to them really good this week as far as just running up the gut with them. And yes, you brought it up that we get a little mini bye week we had resting the guys last week. These guys have been used to getting the bye week every year in the playoffs, and you could say they used that last week or the Chargers game yesterday as that bye. So for rest. So yeah, one more week of rest for the guys to go in and get the job done in Miami. 44. Yeah, it's a weird number too. Yeah, I'd probably buy points on that, make it 49.5 and then take the under on that. But yeah, I think the Chiefs win very similar to what it was last time. Probably not that. I think I'll say 28-14. I think they win by 2 possessions. So
Public money, 58% of the picks are on the Dolphins.
Huh.
66%. This is Action Network, by the way.
Okay.
66% of the money is on Kansas City. That's spread.
Interesting. Okay, so 3. Yeah, a lot of people taking the spread. I mean, 60 is not bad. It's when you get to the 70s, that's where you got to worry a little bit.
Money line, 95% of money on Chiefs. 81 bets on Chiefs.
Interesting. Well, yeah. So. I don't usually look at the money line when it comes to I usually look at the spread aspect of that. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot there. But I think if you look at a lot of these games, though, like the Buffalo one, I guarantee you like 99% of the money line is Buffalo. So not every favorite's going to get knocked out this weekend.
The picks, 87% of picks are on Buffalo money line. 55 of the money.
Really? On the spread?
Yeah. No, money line.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got there's a lot of Steeler fans out there. Steeler Nation's all over the place, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I do think we come in and take care of business. And then next week, we'll get to that next week's show. But yeah, we take Buffalo. They'll probably have to be Buffalo, right? Because then it'll be 2-3.
I think it would depend on who wins. But
if there's a major upset, like if Pittsburgh were to beat Buffalo, then no, Pittsburgh plays Baltimore, and then we play the winner of the Texans and Browns game.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so barring any upset, it would probably be going to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Which I'll take our odds of knowing how good we've been on the road this year. So
yeah,
it's going to be a good one. The fact they have so many injuries on that side of the ball, like I am surprised it is 3.5. It should have opened up at like 4.5 or 5 even, but because the home team always gets the natural 3 points, so they're only giving us a 0.5 buffer here.
And McDaniel looked pretty. I don't know, man. He looked pretty like defeated down the field, man.
Yeah.
He didn't have his normal pep to his step as he normally had. It didn't seem that way. He just seems kind of like they're in a funk, man. It's a terrible time to be in a funk, too.
Yeah. Well, that's why it was so important for us to kind of get this little rhythm going into the playoffs. And we did. Winning last week. And then, although not all of our starters played yesterday, everyone was so involved in that game. Chris Jones getting his sack. And then Mike Edwards' touchdown run, everybody on the sidelines like getting involved, and it was nice to see. Even though all our guys didn't play, you could see that everyone's like into it. The team.
It was a feel-good game.
It was. The one thing I'll say for us, Mike brought it up here, is the tackle spot. But obviously, it's a great week to play a team that's got banged up on the edge rushers. But we'll see with Wanya Morris, the concussion protocol. Donovan Smith might be back this week. So if that's the case, Donovan Smith, we rest him. We got to rest him one more week. He goes back into the left tackle spot. And if not, Thuney goes and plays left tackle, or Jawan Taylor goes and play left tackle. We have options here. Yes, it's not the best thing, but I do think Donovan Smith should be ready to go this week. He's been gone for a while. And Wanya, there's a chance, concussion protocol, and there's a chance he can come back. Who's the player that came back after concussion protocol for like a couple days? A couple weeks ago, was it last week? I think.
Pacheco.
Yeah, Pacheco. Yeah. Okay, so there you go. So clearing this guy's fast.
yeah. Some in the water, I guess.
As long as they're okay. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.